Shannon, Drayer, and Gary Hill here today at Safeco Field. We got double trouble today because it is a big deal here. Eric Wedge has made his return, and he just spoke for about 20 to 25 minutes in his office. And Gary, I had a chance to see him a couple of times over the last couple of weeks and talk to him. This was your first time. What struck you? What did you see?
How thoughtful he was. Obviously, he has spent this time off really thinking about and evaluating both where baseball fits in and his position being the manager of a baseball team, but also how that affects the rest of his life, the stresses in his life, and really thinking about his life as a whole, living as a healthy person. I mean, you talked about this being a real wake-up call. What happened?
The thing that I really appreciate in talking to him and listening to him is, as convicted as he is and that baseball is his passion, being alive, I think, is his passion as well. He's a great family man, and I think that he understands that. He's not a guy where, I mean, this team is everything to him, but I think he can prioritize. What did you get from him in that regard?
He talked about that. I mean, family's number one. His wife and 2 kids, he talked about them a lot during the 25 minutes. And baseball means a lot to him, and you can hear it. You can hear the passion when he's talking about it, but family's number one. And when you're talking about a situation like this, nothing is going to go above the family.
So how does he manage it? You can't take the stress away. Baseball is a stressful job. How does he handle that?
This was a really interesting part of the conversation when he was talking about how he manages the stress, because he was talking about the end game when they're actually playing. That's the fun part. He talked about not having a lot of stress. You know, I think when we watch, we tend, ninth inning, a couple of runners on, going to the bullpen, a lot of decisions to make. It seems like there'd be a lot of stress, but he says that's the fun part. It's the stress before the game. It's the stress after the game, the stuff that we don't see. I mean, all the hours that he puts in and the staff puts in. I mean, here in the morning, not leaving till the morning sometimes. A lot of hours thrown in the mix, and it's more about managing the stress in that regard. On a scale, if something's just a 2 out of 10 in terms of stress, don't make it a 5. Don't make it an 8. I mean, just trying to manage it from that aspect. It's the before, it's the after. The end game, that's not the problem.
Words to live by. If it's a 2,
Absolutely.
don't make it a 5 or an 8. That's good for all of us.
I think that's good advice for everybody.
Eat right and exercise too.
Right.
You know, one of the things that jumped out at me, he has been watching these games on TV, but he said he couldn't watch an entire game. And the other thing is, I asked, would you have managed it any different than Robbie? Did you see anything different? And this is something everyone can take a lesson from. Because even the manager, the guy who actually manages the team, said without knowing what he knew down there, I can't make those decisions. He doesn't know who's available. He doesn't know what the situations are. So he wasn't going there. And that's something that I think fans often forget.
Yeah, I shot a glance over your way when he said that, because, I mean, this is a conversation we've had a lot.
Absolutely.
Because it's part of the deal. Somebody in those shoes would make different decisions. I mean, there's hundreds of decisions a night you can make, and we all don't agree with one or another, and there's some bigger ones than others. But yeah, when you don't know exactly, maybe a guy's not available that we don't know about. Maybe they're trying to stay away from a guy or another matchup. I mean, there's so many different things that go into decisions. And it was really interesting to hear the actual manager talk about that.
Absolutely. And if Eric Wedge doesn't know everything, you don't know everything. So that's just a light note there. So one bit of news out there, I did run into Mike Zunino down on the field about 10 minutes ago. He's going to take batting practice on the field tomorrow. Huge deal. He's already caught 2 bullpens, and they weren't the softest bullpens, right? Not the toughest one, but he also caught Erasmo Ramirez, who has been focusing on getting kind of more of the high-octane stuff. That's something they wanted to see from him the last time. So great news on the Zunino front. Lineup tonight is as follows. Yes, I've lost the lineup. That would be right here. Lineup tonight is as follows. Miller leading off. Franklin is still out, so Saunders will hit second and play center. Seager, Morales, Banyas, Smoke, Chavez in right, Ackley at second, and Blanco, this will be his 3rd straight day starting, will round out the 9 at catcher. For all the latest breaking news on the Mariners, stay tuned to 710 ESPN Seattle. Follow Gary on @Gary Hill Jr. Shannon, that's me. I just called myself Shannon. Follow me on Twitter @Shannon Drayer.
Excellent.
That's terrible. Forgive me. And, of course, follow both of our blogs and our posts on 710sports.com.